All right, we're back. We are practicing for the mid-am again. Golf is hard. I played over the weekend and played Falcon Head from the tips, which I don't think I've ever done because usually when I play there, I just play as a single and get paired up with other people, and not a lot of people play the tips there. And so I just realized I'm going to have to get used to playing from the tips at some point. So play from the tips, and yeah, I shot 86 and did not hit the ball particularly well. I had a two-way miss going with my driver, and we're not too far along in this journey, so it's one of those things where I have to remind myself to be patient and trust that the work that I'm putting in is going to pay off. But it's maddening to a degree. I mean, I feel like I should be so much better based off of my practice sessions, and it just really hasn't translated yet. I mean, I had those like 3 consecutive rounds in the 70s, but other than Sand Valley, which was the 7th time I had played golf in like 5 or 6 days, so I was kind of getting a feel for things, my golf swing. Other than that, I mean, the other 2 rounds were fine, but yeah, it's tough when you play once a week. I may have to try and take advantage of summertime sunlight and get out after work and just try and fly around in like 3 hours and play 18 holes. Might have to start playing twice on the weekend. I don't know. We'll see, but it's tough. I mean, like this is a very, very unique sport. Actually, I wouldn't say it's unique, but I'd say it's one of the, well, now that I think about it, pretty much every sport requires like a ton of work at some point. The thing with like tennis though is, you can play a match with someone. You can play for an hour. You could play multiple matches. The ball is, you're hitting the ball constantly, back and forth to your playing partner. Whereas with golf, I took 86 shots, and 50 some of those were full swing and the rest were putts. So, and that's over like a 4.5 hour period, 5 hours. I mean, it was kind of a long round. I think it was like 4 hours and 45 minutes. So the time commitment with golf is especially high, is what I'm trying to say. So it's really tough to, it's really a tough game to get good at because it requires so much time. And yeah, I mean, that's just a fact. The amount of time that goes into this is tremendous. And it's even more difficult when you have a full-time job. That's why juniors get so good, is they have way more time to spend at the golf course. So we'll have to figure out something out. Maybe just try and play more rounds like on the sim, but definitely need to be like trying to play more But we're still going to practice today. I think I'd like to spend a little bit more time on my full swing. Really going to try and focus on my grip, be very, very aware of my grip, because I get the feeling that the club is slipping ever so slightly in my golf swing. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the way it feels. So we're going to really try and lock in my grip. And I have this orange whip training aid that I've had for many, many years. So gonna do a little bit of work with that, just try and work on my transition, and because I think that's kind of where I'm stuck, is too mechanical, too like tight, too focused on positions. So just gonna try and get used to making a golf swing. So that's the plan for today. Yeah, it was a completely different golf course playing it from the tips, because the yardage from the back tees is about 7150, and the next set of tees up is around 6500, which is the blues. And that's typically where I've played this golf course. And you know, when you're playing public golf too, you don't like, at least here there's a fair amount of tee boxes, and depending on where the tees are set on the tee box, you know, it can make it a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, but in general, like, those are the numbers for how far it is from those tees. But that's quite a big difference. So I think when I play here, and I think most courses, I'm going to have to try and tip it out, because my driver, I just need to straighten it out. Like, I have the length. We just got to be hitting it straighter. And that'll cut down on some of the, obviously, penalty shots, and make it a little bit easier to score. So, gonna get some balls, and I will see you on the range. All right, so like I said, we're gonna get warmed up with this orange whip, which I think should help with my sequencing. So we're gonna try few swings with the orange whip, and then a few swings with the irons, and then kind of see how that feels. Really just trying to get the grip locked into my heel pad, and then just be athletic. feels good here. Feels like I'm doing less manipulation. And then that kind of creeped in where I was trying to force it. So I also bought a rope. That should be coming in a few days. But kind of a Dr. Kwan thing, but I think it's very similar to the orange whip here. So everything's moving right to left, but we got that wind today. So it is exacerbating it a little bit. So I'm going to go to 8 iron next. So this is really kind of helping me get my sequencing right and getting kind of all the speed at the bottom. Just letting it go. Just tried kind of taking a weaker grip there as everything's going right to left. But same thing, still trying to get it hooked into my heel pad. There's a ball left in it. So just trying to create that same feeling in transition here. There's a good one. See if I can do this with other gloves. I really like these gloves. These are like the Cabretta. But I don't want to pay them, fortune in gloves. So I'm trying to get these like more rain glove styles that seem to last a little longer. So I want to still be able to feel that hook. Yeah, this orange whip really kind of helps me get kind of posted up on my left side. But I can kind of feel it like slipping on the pad of my hand with this glove. Yeah. Try the other glove here. What I'm searching for is function. I need things that I know are going to work when I'm playing. Removing variables, that sort of thing. So this one's a little bit better in terms of like not feeling like it's slipping. But it's not as good as the Cabretta leather ones that get real wet. Gonna switch back to this one. I mean, this one definitely feels the best in terms of control. But need to start aiming at flags here. So I'm gonna hit 7-iron to this white flag that's kind of straight out there. Not really sure what happened there, but I will be taking a look later. Okay. Just felt like I was like over top of that one. Yeah, these last few, I was kind of working on just kind of dropping my arm. Hitting some very, very large hooks.
Yeah, I got two larges.
That one just left the face wide open. Same with that one. Then overcorrected. It's kind of how it felt like I was playing on Saturday, just kind of missing both directions. That one felt better. Like the face wasn't really twisting a ton. Yeah, we're just trying to get the club face to stay square, really. That was different. So I hit a number of these like kind of squirty out to the right shots. Could just be I'm not rotating hard enough. That was a good one. Getting closer for sure. Maybe a little rushed from the top. That one really, I felt like I was just kind of doing this and then turning. We may have found something. Literally, like those last few swings. Just felt like I was doing this. But then when you add turn, so solid contact, just kind of overdrawing. Question is, was it club face? Probably club face. No, club face is start direction, so that was square. But my path was probably a little too inside. That's going to happen when you're changing motor patterns. But everything feels more square. See if we can do it with 4-iron here. Would like to hit driver, but there's no T on this one. Yeah, I mean, this feels like I could go as fast as I want. Would like to give this a shot with these other gloves. See if that was in fact part of the issue. Oh man, I just felt it slip. Slip in my hand. Losing a little bit of distance with this glove. and try one more. We'll try the other one. All right, so yeah, we'll see how this one feels, and then if we need to compare it to like the one that I usually play with, we'll do that. But yeah, it's just sliding out of my hands. Pretty good, but I can get a couple more. A little bit of a weird strike. All right. Back to this guy. Definitely better control. The face does not feel like it's twisting around in my hand. Yeah, I think this one is for sure the winner. All right, gonna hit some 3-woods. I think with the longer clubs, my feeling was like hitting a fade. And I think that's kind of what helped me kind of do this move. But this feels way, way better. Doesn't feel like the face is like opening and closing. It feels like the face is just kind of square the whole time. The misses are a little bit better than previous. Pretty big discrepancy from those two, but still feels more in control. So it feels like if I want to kind of hit it out to the right, kind of keep the club more in front of my hands. Yeah, this feels way more in control. I really think that was one of the biggest issues with my swing is getting to the top and not just letting my arms drop. Almost feels like I'm casting. And then when I turn, club's in a good position. Feels simpler. We'll miss it, but totally fine. Out to the right probably means I just didn't rotate hard enough. Got kind of jammed up there. Just seeing what would happen if I kind of externally rotated my shoulder. There's a fade. Here's another one. Caught that out on the heel, kind of rushed a little bit. couple more, and then we'll go over to the short game area. We'll kind of talk over there. One more good one. So now that I feel like I can kind of talk, there were a lot of people on the range, so I didn't want to yap too much. It's also very focused. But yeah, this feeling of just down, and then you add turn, all of a sudden I'm at the ball. And the orange whip was helping me kind of, I do a decent job of getting into my lead side in transition, but it really, really planted me. And instead of like my arms being over here, my hands being over here, everything is just down. And I'm going to get better at that, but that really, really felt good. I was still hitting it left and right, not hitting it where I was aimed, but I mean, this kind of helps with my chipping technique too, because like if I'm open and on my lead side, I mean, I'm just kind of hitting it with my back hip. And that was a little bit of a fluffy lie, but let's see how this kind of translates to chipping. Got to slather the bug spray on. It's pretty bad. But yeah, let's see if we can kind of translate the full swing feels over to chipping. Definitely the sound I want. Oh, yeah, I can still kind of feel myself fighting it. Like my club wanting to, like me wanting to like get the club head to the ball when in reality I need to be getting the club head here. because when I add a turn, all of a sudden my club head's at the ball. It's kind of like that. To me, the feeling is almost like that. Like I'm really releasing it here. That's the feel for me. And I just caught that way too good. Kind of slid up the club face. Spin. So probably still hitting down on it. My tendency is to drag the handle through. So one of the things that I worked on with Phil, my teacher, is just letting the hands go. So I really have to like kind of remind myself of that. There we go. Yeah, this is kind of a tough pin, which is nice that I'm practicing to it. But typically it's not as close over here. So you got more green to work with typically. Oh, just super heavy. Yeah, today was a good session. I really need to work on this because that with the turn is my golf swing. So we'll we'll pause it there. I'm gonna head out, but yeah, main thing is like my grip, and then I'm just straight down and then turn as fast as I possibly can. So, gonna be indoors tomorrow, so I will see you then.